Hi folks, welcome back for another update on the Sea REEFER 250. This is 9 months in from the very start. Loads of things have changed over the past few weeks, so I'll go through everything bit by bit as I usually do. The first thing I want to let you guys know about, if you live in the East Sussex area, there's a great new fish shop that's a reef store that's opened. So I think it's been open since Christmas, which I never knew about. A friend of mine told me about it. And it's actually a guy that used to work at a Maidenhead Aquatics, has decided to set up his own shop. A really knowledgeable chap. Yeah, so that I'll just show you the business card so you can pause it and see where it is. It's called All Things Aquatic at Hawkhurst Fish Farm in Hawkhurst. I'll just leave it on the screen for a little bit longer so you can pause it. Must go there, check it out. It's a really good store. Got a really good livestock selection, corals, soft, LPS, SPS, and all sorts of fish. And the main thing I was really impressed with was the stock, what they have in stock. They just got everything decent in stock. So for example, they've got Kessels in stock, they've got Deltex skimmers in stock, all your dosing solutions, all your supplements, all a good range of foods. It's just a must. Go out, check it out. They're really nice people out there. And yeah, that's that. The second thing is, what I decided to do is, in my sump, I decided to put in some extra biological media. Now, if you've been following the videos, you'll know that in my sump, obviously in addition to all this live rock, I'm running some sintered glass biohome media. You can see that on the screen, this sort of tubes, sintered glass tubes. Won't focus properly. Yeah, there's like a nice big bag of that in there, has been from day one. And I used a bag that was from my little nano tank to seed this system, and all been going well, sort of biological wise. You know, I think possibly it might be the reason why my nitrates are so low, because there's nitrate eating bacteria sort of built up in the centre where the oxygen levels are low in the centre of that media. Anyway, what I decided to do is, because maybe I'm thinking I might reduce the amount of rock work in here, or change it out for something like Arca or real reef rock over time. Only because, this is only a maybe as well, only because I've got quite a bit of bubble algae in the system on the live rock, which if I can't get on top of, that's really going to annoy me. So I might sort of slowly make a transition over to sort of like Arca rock or real reef rock, something like that. But obviously by doing that, if I'm taking all this rock out slowly, what will happen is obviously I'm going to lose a lot of biological filtration. So I need to have a backup, a big stock backup of biological in the system somewhere, so that it will enable me to remove this rock slowly week by week, and not really have any difference or spikes of ammonium nitrite. So what I decided to get was, and it's sort of widely acclaimed to be really good, excellent reviews, is this Marine Pure. You've probably heard of. Decided to go for this type. They do a big block, 4 inches by 8 inches by 8 inches. This is the 8 inch by 8 inch by 1 inch plate. What I thought I'd do is just place one of these plates on the overflow on the return in the sump. So I ordered it through. When it came through, ordered it online. This is before I discovered All Things Aquatic, by the way. I ordered this online, and it came through, and it was all broken. It broke into about 9 pieces. It was like, oh, that's annoying because it's not going to work in the overflow. I wanted to get a nice one-piece sort of plate to fit down there nicely. So I phoned them up, and they sent me through a new one. So instead of wasting the one that's broken, I thought that's great. That'll do me a favour. I can use those blocks, stack them all into like a cube, just by my return pump, sort of added that will increase the amount of surface area for biological bacteria to grow. So that's what I've done. And obviously that will take time to colonise. Probably won't take long for the initial set of denitrifying bacteria, but the nitrate bacteria to build up in the centre probably takes 6 months or so. So it won't be for about 6 months or so that I probably go down this road, and maybe, I might not in the end. We'll see how we go with this live rock. It's a really nice live rock. It's covered in encrusted in coralline algae everywhere. It's just the pests you get, like the bubble algae. And I've got a lot, if you look in the centre just there and up the top here, this type of star polyps, sort of pale star polyps coming out of the live rock, which is sort of sprouting up everywhere. And I think that will sting or start interfering with my SPS corals, which I don't want. So we might make that transition to a synthetic rock. We'll see. So that's what I've done changes wise. Now, my last video I said about my phosphate and nitrate. My nitrate levels are coming up to about 1 part per million, which is fine. Everything was looking good, everything growing well. Phosphate, I never got a reading of phosphate ever on the sulfate test kit, and my suspicions were there would have been a phosphate in the system, just didn't know at what level. So thanks to the guys at All Things Aquatic again, I took a sample of water over there and they tested it with a Hanna checker, and yep, it read at 0.02, so there is phosphate in the system. Now, after a week of my phosphate reactor being off, I decided to put it back on again, because if that phosphate level keeps building, you don't want to go above sort of 0.03. So I must really, it's just an experiment to see if I could get phosphate levels up to show on the Cellofoot test kit, and within a week of me whether it was me turning the phosphate reactor off and feeding heavy, I don't know, but we got 0.02 is probably about as much as I want to run phosphate level in the system. So I've put the phosphate reactor back on again now with a fresh 125 mils of raw phos. So it should keep it at that or below. Nitrates are running about 0.5 parts per million, which is hardly anything. What I have decided to do is just to bring my alkalinity down just a little bit more to around sort of the 8.8, a maximum 9. And my calcium I'm going to bring down, it's always really high at 475, 480. I'm bring that down to sort of the 450, maybe 440 mark, just to see if that has an effect on growth, because at the moment I'm getting really good growth, which I'll go through in a minute like I always do, zooming on each coral. Getting amazing growth. Just to say that the lighting is on 55% colour and 55% intensity. Hopefully this comes out okay. So I think this is the lighting levels that I'm going to be recording in every time I do an update. So what I'm going to do then is get the camera off the tripod and go through like I usually do. Apologies for any reflections from the window behind me, but it's unavoidable, I'm afraid. I've turned the wave machines down to low, so actually I'm going to turn them completely off so we don't get any rippling effect. I was just trying to zoom in on these corals. Okay, kicking off with the one I always do first, and that's the purple stylophora. And we got a massive explosion with growth from this. So white tips really erupting at the top, which is a good sign. Branching out, good colour, good polyp extension. So I'm chuffed about that. I think what it is it's because the water parameters, like calcium, alkalinity, magnesium, etc. It's just been stable for a long time now, a couple of months. So I think that's the key. It's not necessarily what parameters you're running. Obviously you've got to keep them in certain parameters within a specific range, but it's more important to keep them really stable. And once the corals are really used to that continual consistency with the water parameters. They seem to settle down and, you know, seem to grow nice. Prime example is this green Hystrix Ceratopora, getting massive growth on this now, really spiking out, really good colour as well. Whether that's to do with dosing coral colours popping nice, not sure. I'll keep plenty right in the way. Look at him. The two other Hystrix, the pink Hystrix, new frags, sort of taking their time to sort of start growing. They are starting to grow slowly though. Just getting some new little spikes coming out, but I would have thought there'd be a bit more growth in this now. But I think they need that time frame just to settle in, get used to everything, and then once they start growing, they go mad. These Hystrix. My existing pink Hystrix, it's amazing this thing how it's bouncing back. The cotton candy algae on it has just virtually disappeared. It's got a lot of coralline algae on it, but this bit here, as you can see, is just new sprouts, new spikes appearing, and polyps on the branches. You can see there, look. So it's sort of regenerating itself and regrowing, which is good. Okay, my next one is, what should we go for? This Montipora Elkhorn. This thing is getting huge. You see on the top down view maybe. Really good growth from this. Really good colour as well. It's always got these white tips just branching out everywhere. What I did notice though, on one side of it, is that GSP, that green GSP on the back, was touching it and turning it a bit white. So I've moved the GSP rock back a bit. So this is the problem I'm going to have. This GSP, I've got to keep control of it. Obviously I want it to spread all on the back wall, and it's just starting to take now, as you can see there on the back wall, and I want it to grow all the way up to the top near the overflow. So yeah, so the Elkhorn doing really well. Montipora Elkhorn, great growth. My barley slimer, acro, green barley slimer, huge growth on this. There's these new sprouts coming out of it, out the sides of this trunk. It's just, by the week, must grow sort of, I don't know, 5 mil or so in a week, every week. That's that. Other Montipora, plating Montipora, this one. Notice this is really sort of cupping round now. This green one sort of, you know, the cupping shape that they get, these Montiporas, they sort of grow in a circular. I think it's really, in this past couple of weeks, really started to cup around that. Excellent growth, and the red plate behind it is sort of starting to really grow and crust round. The 3 new frags from my friend's tank. This one I know what it is now, thanks to someone, can't remember your name now, online responded to one of my videos to what the idea with this is, and it's a which I did think it was actually Posilipora. That's really growing nicely. And the other one is a Montipora digitata, but it's like a tanny, orangey flesh, can't really tell in the video, with green polyps. That's doing really well and growing well. But the third one, the red or orange plating Montipora, is bleached right out, and that's probably because of the tank it was in. It was in sort of not very strong lighting. I think going here with these Kessels has shocked it a bit, so it's bleached out. My candy cane doing great, really plump. So got about 9 heads on that now, looking great. Top down view of that. Zoa's doing great, multiplying loads on this rock. They'll probably end up spreading up the back wall here, no doubt. The only annoying thing is that they're all growing into each other now, as you can see, fighting for space. They've really gone mad. Some GSP at the back. Again, I've got to be careful this GSP not to take over the whole tank. I want it to grow up the back wall really, but it's quite a trick to do it. Get the rock right close to it. I think it is just starting to take. There's some more emerald green GSP. Mimic Tang doing great. I've noticed that he's ever so slightly lost the yellow, bright yellow. He's sort of going a little bit more orange, just occasionally in certain lights. Probably won't see it on the camera, but he's definitely sort of got a little bit of an orange hue to him. So I think he might be starting to change. All fish stock doing really well. And my pulse coral. Here I'm trying to get to grow up the back wall. If you notice down in this corner though, right down here, this is where my clowns go at night. Well, all the time I wanted them to host this, and I think they are starting to sort of go into it more. You know, I think they're showing signs of mating as well, because they keep flickering constantly near each other, constantly flickering. This sort of behaviour. So they're nice and happy, getting on well. So, I don't know, will we get some eggs eventually? You know, obviously I know they get eaten, but so he loves this. They love this little hole here. So they're treating it like their little anemone, really, which is what I wanted and why I put this pulse coral down there for two reasons. So that because they like this corner, I thought, well, I'll put that down there for their security, and hopefully they'd host it. And also it keeps the pulse coral out of the way of the main display of rock. Yeah, that's them. Six blue-green chromis, all getting quite large. All tend to get on quite well. There's maybe 4 main big ones in here that are the most dominant. This there, bulbul algae, I haven't dealt with this yet. Dreading having to deal with this because there's these bubbles everywhere, which is highly annoying. The reason why I might be doing in 6 months' time or so a rock switch out, because that stuff is just really annoying me now. But we'll try taking it out first. Clean shrimp. As you can see, it's just popping up. Green bubble algae. Different places, here, there and everywhere. View around this side's my favourite view, down through this side of the aquarium. Annoying because this wave machine pumps in the way. Water's really nice and crystal clear. Just switched my carbon actually. I've always used rower carbon, just in a netted bag on the overflow for the sump. I've just switched out for Red Sea's reef spec carbon, which seems to be doing the job well. Wave machines have just come on, so it's good timing. We'll go down to the sump now. I'll show you down there, everything going good. So that's the marine pure that I've put on the overflow. Hopefully we can get a shot of that just on the overflow there, but I plated it there. And if you look down there underneath the float valve, the RO top up, in amongst, or underneath the biological sintered glass biohome there's all the cubes of that marine pure that broke, the plate that broke, sort of broke it up. I fitted it all in cubes underneath there. So there should be loads, once that's colonised, loads of surface area bacteria for filtration. food, some feeding, a mixture really of marine flakes, algae flakes, a brine shrimp, just a soup of it in a